Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Hari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Hari Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Damona Tira Vanantari Damona Tira Vanantari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Madhava Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Hari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Hari Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Jamuna Tira Vanantari Jamuna Tira Vanantari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Madhava Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Gaura Pimanandi, Jai Vishnupada Paramahamsa, Tri Vrajakachaja Stotra Satya Sri Srimad, His Divine Grace, Kirabai Sharanarvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki, Skandi BT, Founder Charyas Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki, Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur Ki, Samavata Bhakta Vrinda Ki, Harinam Sankirtan Ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki, Jaini Tagore Pimanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru, to Sri Gauranga, all glories to Sri Prabhupada. Those curtains actually can be moved to the left. At least those two. Yeah. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya. Leave it. Okay. Taksuranmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vaisnavam Scha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalitam Sri Visakanditam Scha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Taptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Suti Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Vansakalpa Trubhyasya Vipa Sindhu Vyaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Jayamudiraye. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a very means of conquest, let us first offer respectful obeisances unto Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Narayan Rishi, the supremmost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayesabadrishu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati tamashloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. By regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome within the heart becomes destroyed practically to nil, and loving devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, becomes established as an irrevocable fact. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam Uttama Charitam Chakara Bhagavan Rishi Nishreyasaya Lokasya Sanyam Swastaya Maha. This Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Grantara, as the king of all Vedic literatures, is the literary incarnation of God. It is compiled by the incarnation of God. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. It is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Sarabhyai Namaha. Om Sarabhyai Namaha. Om Sarabhyai Namaha. Mukam karoti vasalam pangum langayate girim yat kripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinatharanam yat kripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinatharanam. Hare Krishna. Welcome to our Bhagavatam class. We are continuing with the second canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, but today we are beginning a new chapter, which is chapter number 4. And this is entitled The Process of Creation. Process of Creation. And text number 1. Sutta Uvacha. Haribol. Hare Krishna. Sutta Uvacha. Thank you. Vaya Saker Iti Vachas Tattva Nishayam Atmanaha Upadharya Matim Krishne Otareyaha Satim Vyadat Sutta Uvacha Vaya Sakariti Vachas Tattva Nishayam Atmanaha Upadharya Matim Krishne. Otareya satim vyadhat. Tuta uvacha vaya sakariti vachas tattva nishchayamatmanaha upadharya matim krishne otareya satim vyadhat. Tuta uvacha vaya sakariti vachas tattva nishchayamatmanaha upadharya matim krishne otareya satim vyadhat. Tuta uvacha vaya sakariti vachas tattva nishchayamatmanaha upadharya matim krishne otareya satim vyatat. Tuta uvacha vaya sakariti vachas tattva nishchayamatmanaha upadharya matim krishne otareya satim vyadat. Sutta uvacha vaya sakariti vachas tattva nishchayamatmanaha upadharya matim krishne otareya satim vyadhat. Sutta uvacha. Sutta Goswami said, via Sakehi of Shukadeva Goswami, iti, thus, vacha, teaches tattva nishchayam, that which verifies the truth, atmanaha, in the self, upadharya, just having realized, matim, concentration of the mind, Krishna, unto Lord Krishna, Otareya, the son of Uttara, Satim, chaste, Vyadhat, applied, translation, and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Sutta Goswami said, Maharaj Parikshit, the son of Uttara, after hearing the speeches of Shukadeva Goswami, which were all about the truth of the self, applied his concentration faithfully upon Lord Krishna. Kindly repeat after me. Sutta Goswami said, Maharaj Parikshit, the son of Uttara, after hearing the speeches of Shukadeva Goswami, which were all about the truth of the self, applied his concentration faithfully upon Lord Krishna. Report, the word satim is very significant. This means existing and chaste. And both imports are perfectly applicable in the case of Maharaj Parikshit. The whole Vedic adventure The whole Vedic adventure is to draw one's attention entirely unto the lotus feet of Lord Krishna without any diversion, as instructed in the Bhagavad Gita 15:15. Fortunately, Maharaj Parikshit had already been attracted to the lotus, to the Lord from the very beginning of his body in the womb of his mother. In the womb of his mother, he was struck by the Brahmastra atomic weapon released by Asvathama. But by the grace of the Lord, he was saved from being burnt by the fiery weapon. And since then, the king continuously concentrated his mind upon Lord Krishna, which made him perfectly chaste in devotional service. So by natural sequence, he was a chaste devotee of the Lord. And when he further heard from Srila Shukadeva Goswami that one should worship the Lord only and no one else, even though full of all desires or desirelessness, his natural affection for Krishna was strengthened. We have already discussed these topics. To become a pure devotee of Lord Krishna, two things are very essential. Namely, having a chance to be born in the family of a devotee and having the blessings of a bona fide spiritual master. By the grace of Lord Krishna, Parikshit Maharaj had both opportunities. He was born in a family of such devotees as the Pandavas, and just to continue the dynasty of the Pandavas and show them a special favor, the Lord specifically saved Maharaj Parikshit, who later on, by the arrangement of the Lord, was cursed by the boy of a Brahmana and was able to get the association of such a spiritual master as Shukadeva Goswami. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said that a fortunate person, by the mercy of the spiritual master and Lord Krishna, achieves the path of devotional service. This was perfectly applicable in the case of Maharaj Parikshit. By way of being born in a family of devotees, he automatically came in touch with Krishna. And after being so contacted, he constantly remembered him. Consequently, Lord Krishna gave the king a further chance for development in devotional service by introducing him to Shukadeva Goswami, a stalwart devotee of the Lord with perfect knowledge in self-realization. And by hearing from a bona fide spiritual master, he was perfectly able to concentrate his chaste mind further upon Lord Krishna as a matter of course. Translation again. Sutta Goswami said, Maharaj Parikshit, the son of Uttara, after hearing the speeches of Shukadeva Goswami, which were all about the truth of the self, applied his concentration faithfully upon Lord Krishna. So, in the purport, of course, in the text also, the background information or history of Parikshit Maharaj is given. He is actually no, that one to be closed. This one can be kept. Yeah, ulta. So Parikshit Maharaj, leave it open. Is a great devotee, having one of the signs actually, which is very much emphasized in the Vedic culture, is being connected with a particular family lineage, being part of a particular dynasty. In India, we speak of Gotra. What is your Gotra? In the West, people don't ask, what is your Gotra? They don't know. They don't have Gotra. Huh? No, I'm saying in the West, you're not from the West. But in the West, Gotra means, what does Gotra mean? What is your Gotra? What is your Gotra? Ashru. Huh? Oh, Kashyapa. Kashyapa Muni. Yeah. Gotra. Your Gotra? Okay. Yeah, Gotra. For those who become devotees, it's Achyuta Gotra. Achyuta Gotra. But many people in India have Gotra, which is connected with some particular sage, Kashyapa. So the point being that Vedic culture, Prabhupada very nicely here means the whole Vedic adventure, very nicely put. Life is an adventure, the greatest adventure. And what is the meaning of adventure? If you go on some adventure, then what is expected? Adventure means you will find something new. isn't it? So the life in itself is an adventure. And the greatest adventure is what Vedic culture is promoting or advocating. Here it says the whole Vedic adventure. What is a whole Vedic adventure? To discover Krishna. Yeah. The whole Vedic adventure is to draw one's attention entirely unto the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. And this is nicely being pointed out here, this whole aspect of chastity. We are actually products. We are created by Krishna. Mamaye vangsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. So we belong to Krishna. We have been created by Him. We belong to Him. We belong to Him means we are meant to know Him. We're meant to serve Him. To the point, very nice point that Prabhupada is mentioning here about in glorification, underlining how very exalted was Parikshit Maharaj, because he had this heritage, this lineage, family lineage. His family lineage are the Pandavas. His mother's name is mentioned, Uttara. And his exalted father? Yes, Abhimanyu. Abhimanyu's history is very short because he only lived for a short time, 16 years. Just imagine, at the age of 16, he was a qualified and very developed, very advanced Kshatriya, because he had received training, and he was a very valiant fighter. Practically could not be defeated, as we know from the Mahabharata. The most powerful fighters against the Pandavas, altogether they had to combine to actually defeat Abhimanyu. Yeah. So, and of course, the father of Abhimanyu is Arjuna. So, in other words, having this type of lineage, which is connected with Krishna, is a very, very big advantage. Prabhupada explains in the purport, there's two important things that are very conducive, very helpful to help one actually realize the primary goal of life. So this is one of them, having this type of background or family lineage. Actually, when we, in the Vedic culture, traditionally, to understand what is the Varna, how to understand the Varna of an individual, what are the ways, recommended ways, or traditional standard ways? Guna karma. Varna means guna karma, yes, but how to understand? How to understand what is the guna and karma? Someone. Huh? By? I didn't hear. Question. Huh? By blessing. By dress, costume. Well, I can dress, in French, there's an expression that l'habit ne fait pas le moine. L'habit ne fait pas le moine. The dress doesn't make one a sannyasi. You can all wear, anyone can wear the dress. That's not doesn't necessarily mean that one is a sannyasi. One of the traditional ways to understand the nature of an individual is his family lineage. This is one of the points being mentioned here, family lineage. And ideal family lineage means following the different samskaras, beginning with the Garbhadhana samskara. That's why in the West there is no conception. Just like Gotra, nobody knows about Gotra because it's all completely detached or disconnected with the Vedic culture. Vedic culture means one follows a particular God-given system which will more easily facilitate one's natural development of higher consciousness, which leads one, of course, to Krishna consciousness. So, in other words, family lineage. In other places also, Prabhupada explains that he was referring to his Guru Maharaj. My Guru Maharaj, he was born in a Vaishnava family. And therefore, he became such an exalted personality. And when explaining in this way, Prabhupada said, in a humble way, I also had the great fortune to be born in a Vaishnava family. If one is not born in in such type of family, if one does not follow the different prescribed regulations, then we have, as the situation as we can see today, Varnasankara, isn't it? Varnasankara is the complete opposite of Varnasrama Dharma. Varnasrama Dharma actually promotes and facilitates that one is born in ideal family and that one is gradually progressing towards elevated consciousness, culminating in, as nicely being mentioned here, the referring to the speeches that that Parikshit Maharaj was hearing from Shukadeva Goswami. These speeches were all about the truth of the self, you see, which is Vedic culture, the most important topic. Yeah. So this is one. Prabhupada from the very beginning underlines the importance of the word satyam by giving the meaning as existing and chaste. So Prabhupada also nicely comments regarding chaste. Parikshit Maharaj was perfectly, nicely mentioned here, perfectly chaste in devotional service. What does it mean to be chaste? Means not to deviate. Like a chaste wife. What is a chaste wife? And that is, of course, one of the very strong aspects of Vedic culture. Chastity. A chaste wife means she will always only be fixed and attached in serving the husband. Chastity means not uh, not leaving one's master or not leaving one's duty or responsibility. So here, Parikshit Maharaj, because of having this kind of very exalted background from even before being born, as mentioned here, within the womb. Within the womb, he had the darshan of the Lord. The Lord personally protected Parikshit Maharaj within the womb. So these are the two aspects. We just mentioned one now. Prabhupada mentions these two aspects in the purport as being very favorable, very ideal to help one develop one's God consciousness. Good family, good background, good family background. You see, and that's why those who are householders, devotee householders, have a tremendous responsibility uh, to uh, to actually beget children who will become God conscious. So there's a whole system or process how this is possible. And the second point, being nicely explained here, is that although Parikshit Maharaj was already favored by having this type of family background, the Lord arranged for him to also get the association of such an exalted personality as Goswami. So Parikshit Maharaj was a devotee before taking birth, in that he had the direct intervention or protection of Krishna, and and Krishna arranged for him to have a personality like Shukadeva Goswami. So in this way, Sutta Goswami is beginning his, after being requested by the sages in Naimisharanya, he will be speaking. Here he begins by, we can say, glorifying actually Parikshit Maharaj. So it means that when these two aspects are there in someone's life, then one has the greatest opportunity to become an advanced devotee, become a devotee, and to become, what is the meaning of devotee or advanced devotee? Is to become fixed and to be perfectly chaste in one's activities of devotional service. So this is nicely being explained here by Srila Prabhupada. So we'll just read the translation again, if there's any comment or question. Sutta Goswami said, Maharaj Parikshit, the son of Uttara, after hearing the speeches of Shukadeva Goswami, which were all about the truth of the self, applied his concentration faithfully upon Lord Krishna. That was most important for him to do that, because he was about to leave his body. So this is one of the most important instructions that is, of course, given also in the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Ante Narayana Smriti, that our activities today, our daily activities, will help shape and determine what our thoughts will be when that critical moment of leaving the body will come, and it will come to all of us. So Maharaj Parikshit, being favored in this way to hear from such an exalted personality as Shukadeva Goswami, he simply fully concentrated his mind upon the Lord. Nice purport. Is there any question on this? Yes. Same question that you have. Okay. If someone does not belong to a family of Vaishnava, he cannot become pure devotee. Whether he can become pure devotee. There are many examples of, for example, people who may not know about Krishna, but like in Christianity, there are many saints, there are many exalted personalities, and undoubtedly they were advanced in, we say, Krishna consciousness, although they may not or did not know about Krishna. So Prabhupada explains specifically regarding those who may not know about Krishna in the context of describing people from other religious backgrounds, whether they are Christians, whether they are Muslims, whether they are Buddhists. Prabhupada explains that actually they are also Vaishnava. Anyone who actually accepts God, the concept of God, anyone who worships God, anyone who offers prayers to the Lord, even though one may not be knowing who the Lord is, he is considered a Vaishnava, but there are different levels of Vaishnava. One who is following the basic tenets of Krishna consciousness or the basic principles means one who is not engaged in sinful activities, isn't it? Then he will become purified, but unless one comes to know about Krishna, one cannot go to Krishna. So such individuals, they will be they will get opportunity to one day actually come to know who is the Supreme Lord. Unless one is knowing who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one cannot ultimately develop what is meant to be developed, means our love for Krishna. So undoubtedly people who may not know Krishna but know that God exists, they have love for God, but they don't know who is God. So that love is not cannot be fully expressed or developed. That's why in our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, the whole topic of of rasa or different expressions of love or different expressions of relationship. Love takes place when there's a relationship between two people, isn't it? And the perfection of love is the development of relationship between the individual jiva, small jiva, and the or the small atma and the supreme atma, paramatma, the source of which is Lord Krishna. So undoubtedly they are purified, uh, but actual perfectional level is to come to know who is God. Uh, the concept, in Christianity, for example, there is uh, the personal aspect of God is there, but it is not described. Uh, the Bible does not describe who is God. It speaks about man being created at the image of God. In our Vaishnava philosophy, we also understand this. We are the part and parcel of the whole. And of course, our Vaishnava literature, our Vedic literatures give us information about who is that whole. We are the part and parcel as jiva, uh, as as atma, and there is detailed information as to the supreme personality of Godhead. I mean, that God is a person. So that concept is not developed, is not known actually in other denominations, including Christianity. In Christianity, they say that we are created by God. We are the sons of God. We are the sons of God. And of course, they believe in Lord Jesus as being the only Son of God. Lord Jesus is not the only Son of God. At the time, he was the only recognized perfect Son of God, in that he was totally self-realized. But anyone who takes up the process can become a liberated personality. Lord Jesus was a liberated personality. Prabhupada mentioned, we recognize Lord Jesus as Guru. Guru means one who is self-realized. And he was able to give some teachings. Those who are in position of teacher, they will give knowledge according to the students, according to the audience. So, Hare Krishna, according to the audience. So therefore the importance of this Vedic knowledge, in particular, the importance of the Bhagavatam. I was mentioning just a few days ago, giving an example of one devotee who was distributing books in Siberia, Russia, and in a place where mostly everyone was like Christian, so they were not interested. They were very, very strong in their belief, and so they were not interested in taking any books. But this one devotee I was telling, he found somebody who had received a copy of the Bhagavatam. He received, I think, from his father. His father received it somewhere, and he was reading this book like he was hiding to read the book because he didn't want anyone to find out that he was interested in something different from Christianity. So the point is, and there are many examples like this. One one sannyasi many years ago mentioned that if Lord Jesus was to appear today, he would become a devotee. He would become a Vaishnava. He would be he would be a frontline preacher. There are many Christians, not only Christians, there are people from different religious background who are very pious. Once they come in contact with this philosophy, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, they they can understand that actually the basic instructions given, for example, in the Bible, they're already contained here, but more developed, more complete, isn't it? Because the information about Godhead and the detailed process by which to develop our God consciousness is very, very elaborately presented, especially in the writings of our Goswamis. So we will close for now. Jai Grantaraj Bhagavatam ki, Jai Sri Prabhupada ki, Gaura Pimanandi. Hare Krishna.